I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
I'm Matt once again. We're back to another video. This is another paid request, this time for Broad Stipe. If anyone wants to request any other type of videos or topics, reviews, random, anything else, or any donations or anything you think of, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both things are down below in the info box. Now this is for Black Hawk Down, which is a film that I forgot Ridley Scott did. When I think of Ridley Scott, I always think of Alien, Blade Runner, I like Black Rain, I like G.I. Jane, or some of the stuff I hate, like Prometheus, Alien Covenant, Body of Lies, stuff like that. But I always forget he did this, and I do enjoy this movie. I do. Leave No Man Behind. And this is a movie that's pretty much forgotten. It seems like no one ever brings this movie up. No one ever talks about this film. And it's based on a real story, and I'll say this right here. I don't know much about the real story. Although I guess I could read it here. This is a little background. Do you remember back in the day when you got like actual things in the DVD or little Blu-ray case, and then they'd give you info and stuff, like little, you know, it's really nice. Black Hawk Down, A Story of Modern War, was written by Mark Bowden, a reporter for the Philadelphia Inquirer. Published in 1999, the book was brought to producer Jerry Bruckheimer's attention while still in galley form. Bruckheimer contacted Ridley Scott, who agreed to direct the project. Hired to fashion the 15-hour firefight into a 144-minute movie with screenwriter Ken Nolan. Condensing these events into 2.5 hours was difficult. We knew that a certain amount of creative license would have to be taken, telescoping events and compositing some of the real people involved in the battle. The book follows the fortunes of almost 100 soldiers, and that would be impossible to film. I didn't get what he mean. I didn't get what he says by that, you know. They filmed in Morocco, but the movie takes place in Somalia. Huh. But yeah, pretty much in 1993, there's a civil war in Somalia. You had the 75th Rangers, you had the Delta Force and others. They go in. They're supposed to get this warlord, his like lieutenants, things of that nature. And they're successful. But then one thing happens in the movie. This guy, I believe is played by Orlando Bloom, who would be in the Pirates of the Caribbean film, among others. He falls. He gets hurt. They have to come down to get him. And then that's when shit just keeps rolling and rolling like a snowball over and over again. And I'll say this. A lot of times I describe a movie as being chaotic as a negative connotation. This one, though, I thought it worked fairly well. It definitely felt as if this was just this ongoing battle that felt like it would never just stop. And I like the cast. Josh Hartnett, a lot of people don't like him. I don't mind him. He was in The Faculty. He was in Hollywood Homicide, which I do like. I actually saw that in the theater with Harrison Ford starring in that movie. The lieutenant has a seizure, so he becomes the leader, working with the 75th Rangers. You have Tom Sizemore. You got Sam Shepard, may he rest in peace. Ewan McGregor, who's this desk clerk, and he comes into the battle. Eric Bana, early role for him. I mean, this is before the 2003 Hulk. This is before Deliver Us from Evil, which I enjoyed him in that. I thought he did a good job here. We'll like to have seen more of him. But again, what's real, what's not? Obviously, like it said there, creative license had to be taken. And what's real, what's not, how this actually would work in a military operation, I don't know. I'm clueless in that manner. But I did not mind the way Ridley Scott filmed it. I thought for what kind of movie it was supposed to be, I thought it fit. And the way the film looked, the cinematography, how chaotic things were. But I still understood what was going on for the most part. And I really felt this desperate battle with this large force of heavily armed soldiers. And when I say I can understand, I mean I understand what's happening action-wise. To be honest, there were times that it's hard to tell who is who character-wise because of the chaotic nature, because of the way each soldier is dressed, and because you got dust and sand and dirt and explosions. Sometimes it's hard to tell, well, who is who? Is that Josh Hartnett? Is that Ewan McGregor? Sometimes it's hard to tell. And I would say you have limited characterizations. You don't really get to know these folks. I can't tell you 5 things about Josh Hartnett or Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor, he's a desk clerk. He has a certain way he likes coffee. And Ewan McGregor's character, he has a tendency of getting shot at with missiles. There's at least 3 fucking times where a missile comes by him and he gets blown back. At least like 3 times, I swear. Like when he's running towards Josh Hartnett and he gets blasted forward. There's a point where he's by like a wall and someone gets shot and it's like almost it hits the wall near him. And there's a point where he gets shot at, but he's able to throw a grenade at a Jeep and get some bad guys with that. And also, I forgot this is a rather brutal movie. Rather brutal film. You know, people get killed in nasty ways. One, I forgot, it's part of town. Let me backtrack. Different soldiers doing different things. So you have Tom Sizemore in this convoy trying to get the warlords, lieutenants, back to where they need to be. And during the convoy, a lot of people get killed. Until one guy gets a missile stuck in him. It doesn't really blow up, but it like gets stuck in him, so like it like impales the guy, which is not something I see every day. And then Ewan McGregor's with Josh Hartnett, but then they get separated. He's with, I want to say, he's with Jim Isaacs or someone else. I can't remember. I cannot remember. No, I think it was William Fichtner. Might have been William Fichtner. which I see him everywhere. He was in the 2014 Ninja Turtles film. He was in the Lone Ranger film. He was in Armageddon, which I reviewed not too long ago. He's in this movie. And to be honest with William Fichtner, sometimes like this, I could deal with him. But everybody in the 2014 Ninja Turtles, I just don't, fuck that guy. You know, I hate that film so much. Also, the back of this DVD, I think it's spelled Ewan. Oh no, never mind. There's two Ewans. Ewan Bremner as well as Ewan McGregor. Okay. Josh Hartnett from Pearl Harbor, Eric Bana from Chopper, Ewan McGregor from Moulin Rouge, Tom Sizemore from Saving Private Ryan. I remember him more from The Relic, which I highly enjoy. William Fichtner, I guess he was also in The Perfect Storm. I forgot about that. Sam Shepard. And may he rest in peace. He plays the more of the commander who's working behind the scenes, telling people go here, go there. Eric Bana, I like him when he's on screen. He doesn't really have much to do until much later in the film when it's nighttime and him and his soldiers go in, take care of some business. Pretty cool moment when Steets up, kills a guy, gets this cannon, this bazooka, and fires on another jeep, blows some bad guys away. There's some nice pieces of tech being used. Like during the nighttime scenes, they get a signal for the helicopters, and you see the helicopters swoop down over the rooftops. I mean, there's just some nice, intense battle sequences. This is definitely one of those films that really does... Well, I can't say because I've never been involved with it. But I would assume captures the intensity and the chaotic nature of being in a battlefield. And also the fact that it takes place in a city... because that's what happened in real life. So it's typically in warfare, you see it in a jungle setting or in World War II, certain, the beaches of Normandy or other such. But here, the fact it's in a city, buildings everywhere, in and out, jeeps everywhere, just almost feels non-stop. And when it gets going, it doesn't really stop. Very little time to breathe and calm down. But when it gets to a point, it's fairly relentless. So I can't say I was ever bored. Like I said, sometimes I will admit they give it more. It does get a bit too chaotic. Sorry. Damn, it made me so sick, ready to burp, ready to puke at the fact that I can't tell who some of the fucking people are at times. Who's that guy shooting? Who's that guy shooting? Okay. Well, I don't know how else you could do that. Maybe a certain way it could be framed so we could tell who the person's face is. But in combat, you don't really want them to have two distinct... I don't know. Maybe a certain way the camera could be calmed down a little bit, or the editing could be calmed down a little bit in certain scenes to tell a bit more who's who. And like I said, the characterizations are a bit limited, so I don't really get to know who these guys are. I see a lot of recognizable faces. Like, oh, there's Tim Coates. That's a guy in The Last Boy Scout who pissed off Bruce Willis, and Bruce Willis put the fucking bone through his nose in The Last Boy Scout. Oh, that's Tim Coates. Oh, there's Richard Tyson, the bad guy from Kindergarten Cop. So you guys are, oh, I recognize that person, but again, I can't really tell you much shit about him. Tom Sizemore, I like Tom Sizemore. Can I say 3 things about his character? No. Now, some may say that's a good thing. It's more about the situation. It's more about the conflict. Some say it's not a good... Well, I guess that'd be up to you. But it really does showcase just how outnumbered these folks were at the time. And just... if you want a visceral, visual representation of, yeah, you don't want to be in war, Black Hawk Down is certainly a movie to do it. I guess in a way, I kind of like the fact that I didn't think it was too preachy. You know, there's a little bit of dialogue here and there. Maybe a dialogue or two at the end with Josh Hartnett about no one wants to be a hero. But compared to other films, I just didn't feel it was that preachy of a movie. And yeah, overall, I did like it. I liked watching the movie again. I would put it in my list of favorite Ridley Scott films. I would say Alien is my favorite. Ooh, that's tough to list them all. There's one I like over the other. Probably Alien, Black Rain, G.I. Jane, Blade Runner, and this movie. I don't mind Thelma and Louise, but it wouldn't be in top 5. Legend is alright, but it wouldn't be in my top 5. White Squall, yeah, not really a big fan of that. I think of other really, like, Prometheus is awful. Alien Covenant was shitty. I'm not a fan of American Gangster. I think it's boring. I think, you know what, I just rather go watch Scarface rather than American Gangster. But you know what, I just don't rather go watch Scarface. Sorry. Not for me. Or I'll go watch Virtuosity if you want a film with Denzel and Russell Crowe. So, sorry, just me. But Gladiator I could never get into. Could never get into Gladiator. But yeah, I would say this is my top 5 Ridley Scott films. I kind of like, it was almost refreshing, almost the straightforward, no-nonsense nature of it when it got going. Because a lot of times in these war films, it'll cut to at home, people watching on the news, or cut to a loved one, and it's a detriment. There's not a lot of terrorization, but in a way it's kind of refreshing because it's boom, we're in the battle, we don't leave the battle. It's either the commander, do here, battle with Tom Sizemore and his convoy, or Josh Hartnett, or Ewan McGregor getting like another 3 missiles shooting at him. It doesn't really leave, and you're there and you're stuck there with these men until it's over, and you're almost exhausted as these men through the ordeal they go through, and the blood, sweat, and tears, and also the bravery of some of these guys, like the people who are at one point this helicopter and they're waiting for help to arrive, and in a way they know help is not arriving, and they are doing the best they can, and they get overrun, but they were there for their duty, honor, country, and courage. So there is that too. But yeah, this film shouldn't be as forgotten as it should. You know, I guess you'd call it a war film. Yeah, a pretty decent flick. I rather liked it. Good cast as well. And I believe Hans Zimmer did the score, right? Yeah. I wouldn't say it's not one of my favorites of Hans Zimmer, but not a bad score either. Well, that's interesting. Simon West is one of the executive producers. You know, the guy who directed Con Air and such. He's one of the executive producers. Interesting. As well as Jared Bruckheimer. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.